Min stood in the arrival bay of the Galactic Coalition Military Academy and felt very small. The ceiling stretched so high above him that he could barely see it. The walls were made of some kind of glowing blue metal that didn't exist on Earth, and everywhere he looked, there were aliens. Big aliens, strong aliens, aliens with 4 arms and crystal skin, aliens that floated in the air without legs, aliens covered in scales that looked harder than steel. They all stared at him as he walked past with his small bag of belongings. He heard whispers. The translation device in his ear turned the alien languages into words he could understand. Is that one of the humans? So small, look how soft its skin is. I heard they break easily, fragile bones. Why did the Coalition even accept them? Min kept his eyes forward and kept walking. He had known this would happen. Humans were new to the galaxy. Earth had only made contact with alien species 5 years ago. Before that, humanity thought they were alone in the universe. They were wrong. The galaxy was full of life, hundreds of species, thousands of worlds, and humans were at the bottom of every list: weakest gravity tolerance, slowest healing factor, shortest, most vulnerable to disease. The list went on and on. But Min had still applied to the Academy. Out of 2 billion applications from Earth, only 3 humans had been accepted. He was one of them. His mother had cried when he told her. His father had just shaken his head and said, "You always did like proving people wrong." The orientation hall was massive. Min found a seat near the back. A few rows ahead, he saw another human, a woman with short black hair. She glanced back at him and gave a small nod. At least he wasn't completely alone. The lights dimmed. A figure walked onto the stage. It was tall, maybe 3 meters, and its body looked like it was made of moving crystals. Light reflected off its surface in rainbow colors. The translation device crackled to life. "I am Commanding Officer," the crystal being said. Its voice sounded like wind chimes. "Welcome to the Galactic Coalition Military Academy. You are the finest recruits from across 200 worlds. You are here because your species believes you can serve the Coalition with honor." Officer's crystalline head turned slowly, scanning the room. "Most of you will succeed. Some of you will fail. And some of you are here because of political quotas rather than actual merit." Min felt eyes turning toward him and the other humans. His jaw tightened. "The Coalition faces many threats," Officer continued. "Pirates, rebel factions, and creatures so dangerous that even our best soldiers fear them. You will learn to face these threats, or you will wash out and return home in shame." The presentation continued. Officer showed images of different alien enemies. Then the screen changed to show a creature that made several cadets gasp. It was huge, 6 legs, covered in black scales that looked like armor. Its head was all teeth and glowing eyes. Spikes ran down its spine. Even in the hologram it looked terrifying. "This is a hound," Officer said. "From the Death World Prime. They are among the most dangerous creatures known to the Coalition. We use them as living weapons. They are kept in stasis between battles and deployed directly into war zones." The hologram showed a hound attacking. It moved faster than seemed possible for something so large. Its jaws crushed through metal armor. Its claws tore through walls. "Hounds cannot be controlled," Officer explained. "They cannot be trained. They can barely be contained. 17 handlers have died attempting to work with them. We deploy them in drop pods, aim them at the enemy, and retrieve them with automated drones after the battle, if they survive." Min stared at the creature. Something about it seemed familiar. The way it moved. The way it watched everything around it. He had seen that behavior before, but he couldn't remember where. After orientation, cadets lined up to receive their assignments. When Min reached the front, a small floating alien scanned his identification chip. "Recruit Min Human. You are assigned to Beast Management Division. Report to Section 7. Min blinked. Beast management. I applied for tactical training. Computer assigns based on needs and qualifications. Next. Confused, Min stepped aside. He checked his data pad. Section 7, Beast Management Division. He had never heard of it. He found Section 7 in the lower levels of the academy. The halls here were darker, colder. He could hear strange sounds echoing from behind heavy doors, growls, roars, the sound of something large hitting metal. A woman in a coalition uniform approached him. She was human, the same woman from orientation. "You must be Min," she said in Korean. "I'm Lieutenant. I saw your assignment. I tried to get it changed." "Why?" Min asked. "What's wrong with beast management?" His expression was grim. "Walk with me." She led him down the corridor. Through windows in the doors, Min saw massive chambers. Some held creatures in cages. Others showed empty rooms with blast marks on the walls. "Beast management handles the hounds," explained, "and other dangerous creatures the Coalition uses as weapons. It's the worst assignment in the Academy, mostly punishment duty. You clean the stasis chambers, you maintain the equipment, and you pray a malfunction never wakes one of those things up." "Has that happened before?" Min asked. "Twice. Both times everyone in the section died before the security team could respond. Hounds don't hesitate, they don't stop, they just kill." Stopped walking and faced him. "I'm one of only 5 human officers in the entire Coalition military. I've been trying to change your assignment for the past hour, but the system won't let me. Someone high up decided you belong here." "Why would they do that?" Sighed. "Because they don't think humans belong in the military. Some species see our acceptance as a political move, nothing more. By putting you in the most dangerous position, they're expecting you to fail, or worse." Min looked through another window. Inside, he could see a massive shape in a stasis tube. Frost covered the glass, but he could make out the outline. 6 legs, spikes, a hound. "What if I don't fail?" he asked quietly. Studied him for a moment. "Then you'd be the first, but Min, I have to be honest with you. This assignment is a death sentence. I've seen your file, you're smart, you're capable, but humans aren't strong enough to fight no one is." Min kept staring at the sleeping creature. That familiar feeling came back. He had seen this before. Not a hound, but something like it. Something that everyone said was dangerous and uncontrollable. Then he remembered. He was 7 years old, a neighbor's dog. Everyone in his neighborhood said it was mean, aggressive, would bite anyone who came near. They kept it chained in the yard. But one day Min had walked up to it, slowly, calmly. He didn't run, didn't yell, just approached with his hand out, palm down. The dog had stopped barking. It had sniffed his hand. Then it had licked his fingers and wagged its tail. "I'll manage," Min said. Didn't look convinced, but she handed him a data pad. "Your duties start tomorrow. Section 7, Level 4. 600 hours, don't be late, and Min, be careful, please." That night in his small quarters, Min couldn't sleep. He kept thinking about the hound in the stasis tube, about the way everyone feared it, about how Officer had said they couldn't be controlled or trained. He thought about his neighbor's dog, about his mother's cat that scratched everyone except him, about the injured bird he'd nursed back to health when he was 12. Maybe the aliens were right. Maybe humans were weak, fragile, unsuited for military service. Or maybe humans knew something about dangerous creatures that the rest of the galaxy had forgotten. He would find out tomorrow. The stasis chamber deck was cold. Min's breath made small clouds in the air as he pushed his cleaning cart down the long corridor. It was the night cycle. Most of the academy was empty. Just him, the sleeping creatures in their frozen tubes, and the hum of machinery. He had been working in beast management for 2 weeks now. Every day was the same. Clean the floors, check the equipment readings, report any problems. Don't touch anything important. Don't get too close to the tubes. Don't think about what would happen if something went wrong. The other workers in his section were all aliens. Most ignored him. A few made jokes about humans being assigned to babysit the monsters. One, a four-armed creature named, had been almost kind. He showed Min which machines were dangerous and which were safe. The red lights mean danger, had explained. Green means normal. Yellow means check the readings. If you ever see red, you run, don't think, don't hesitate, just run and hit the emergency alarm. Tonight Min was alone. The other workers had the night cycle off. He had volunteered to take the shift. He needed the extra credits, and besides, the quiet was nice. No one staring at him. No one whispering about the weak human. He was cleaning near Chamber 7 when he heard the sound. A low hum, then a click. He looked up. One of the stasis tubes was blinking yellow. Min checked his data pad. Chamber 7, Unit 421, a hound. The yellow light meant something was wrong with the temperature control. The frost on the glass was melting. He tapped his communication device. This is Min in Section 7. I have a yellow alert on Chamber 7, Unit 421. Temperature rising. Static. He tried again. Control, do you copy? I need a maintenance team to Chamber 7. More static. Something was wrong with the communications too. Min felt his heart beat faster. He looked at the tube. The yellow light turned orange. The manual said if the light turned orange, wake the supervisor immediately. But his supervisor was in the upper levels. That would take 10 minutes. He looked at the control panel. There was an emergency cooling button. Maybe if he activated it, the temperature would drop back to normal. He reached for the button. His hand was shaking. He pressed it. Nothing happened. The orange light turned red. No, 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 Min whispered. He hit the button again, still nothing. The frost was completely gone from the glass now. He could see the creature inside clearly. It was massive. Black scales. 6 legs pulled tight against its body. Eyes closed. Spikes running down its spine. Something went crack. A line appeared in the glass. Another crack, then another. The stasis tube was failing. Min's training screamed at him. Run, hit the alarm, get to safety. Let the security team handle it. But his feet wouldn't move. He just stared at the creature. The glass shattered. Fluid poured out onto the floor. The hound came with it, sliding out of the tube and crashing onto the deck. It lay there for a moment, not moving. Steam rose from its body. Min should have run. Every instinct from every species in the galaxy said to run. These creatures killed without mercy. They couldn't be controlled. They couldn't be reasoned with. They were living weapons designed by a death world to kill anything that moved. But Min didn't run. He stood there watching. The hound's eyes opened. They glowed like hot copper. The creature's head lifted. It looked around the room, confused, scared. Its body was shaking, not from aggression, from fear. Min recognized that look. He had seen it before, in his neighbor's dog, in stray cats, in any animal that had been hurt or scared or locked away for too long. The hound saw him. Its lips pulled back, showing rows of teeth. It made a sound, low, rumbling, a warning. Easy, Min said softly. He didn't move, didn't run, just kept his voice calm and steady. You're okay. Nobody's going to hurt you. The creature circled him slowly. Its claws clicked on the metal floor. It was huge up close. Its shoulder came up to Min's chest. Each of its 6 legs was thick with muscle. One swipe from those claws could cut him in half. Easy, Min repeated. He knew the translation device wouldn't work on an animal, but tone mattered. Body language mattered. He had learned that as a child. The hound moved closer, sniffing. Its nose was the size of Min's fist. Hot breath washed over him. The creature's eyes studied him, trying to understand what this small, soft thing was. Every part of Min wanted to run. His legs were shaking. His hands were cold with fear. But he stayed still. He thought about his father's words. Predators chase what runs. Stand your ground and most of them will back down. The hound lowered its head, sniffed his hand. Min's breath caught in his throat. Slowly, very slowly, he crouched down. He put one hand out, palm down, just like he had with that dog so many years ago. "It's okay," he whispered. "You're just confused. You didn't ask to wake up. I know you're scared." The creature's glowing eyes blinked. It tilted its head. The growling stopped. For a long moment, nothing happened. Min and the hound just looked at each other. Then the creature did something incredible. It pushed its massive head under Min's hand, like a dog wanting to be petted. Min's fingers touched the scales. They were warm, smooth. Not like armor at all, more like the skin of a snake. "There you go," Min said softly. He moved his hand slowly, gently. The hound made a sound, low and rumbling but not aggressive, almost like purring. The creature settled down on the floor next to him. Its massive body curled around his legs, its tail wrapped around his ankle. Not threatening, protective. Its eyes started to close. "You're tired," Min said. "I get it. Being frozen probably isn't fun. You can rest. I won't let anyone hurt you." The hound made that purring sound again. Its breathing slowed. One eye stayed half open, watching him, making sure he didn't leave. Min sat down on the floor, his back against the wall, the most dangerous creature in the known galaxy resting its head on his lap. He could feel its heartbeat, slow and steady. His hand kept moving, stroking the scales. The creature's tail twitched, almost like it was wagging. "You need a name," Min whispered. "Can't just call you Unit 421. How about my first dog was named? He was a good boy too." The creature's eye closed completely. Within minutes it was asleep, not knocked out, not in stasis, just sleeping peacefully, with its head on a human's lap. That's how Lieutenant found them 20 minutes later. She had come running when the alarms finally triggered. Behind her was a full security team, weapons ready, faces shocked. They all stopped at the entrance to the chamber, staring. No one moved. No one spoke. The most dangerous creature in the Coalition's arsenal was sleeping like a pet, on a human recruit who had been in the academy for 2 weeks. His voice was barely a whisper. "What did you do?" Min looked up at her, his hand still on his head. "I think I made a friend." One of the security team members, a reptilian soldier, shook his head. "Impossible. Hounds don't bond, they don't trust, they kill." "Maybe they just needed someone who wasn't afraid," Min said quietly. His eye opened. The security team raised their weapons, but the creature didn't attack. It just looked at them, then looked back at Min. Its tail moved slightly, back and forth, like a dog wagging hello. Started laughing, not from humor, from shock, from the impossibility of what she was seeing. "Officer is going to lose his mind. The science division will never believe this. The military command." She trailed off, shaking her head. "What happens now?" Min asked. "I have absolutely no idea," admitted. "This has never happened before. No one has ever survived close contact with an awakened, let alone sat with one for 20 minutes, let alone made it sleep like a house pet." One of the security team spoke up. "We need to put it back in stasis, before it wakes up fully and realizes it can kill all of us." "No," Min said firmly. "He's not a weapon. He's just scared and confused. Look at him. Does he look like he wants to kill anyone?" His tail thumped against the floor. Once, twice. The security team stepped back nervously. Pulled out her communication device. "I need to report this. Stay exactly where you are, Min. Don't move. Don't do anything. And for the love of Earth, keep that thing calm." As she walked away to make her call, Min looked down at. The creature looked back at him with those glowing copper eyes. Trust. That's what Min saw there. Trust. "Looks like we're both in trouble now, boy," he whispered. His tail wagged again. The observation room was crowded. Scientists, military officers, academy officials. Even officers stood at the back, crystalline arms crossed. They all watched through the reinforced glass as Min entered the training chamber. Was already inside. The hound paced back and forth, nervous. The chamber was new, strange smells, strange sounds. When the door opened and Min walked in, stopped packing, his head turned. His tail started moving. "Ridiculous," one of the scientists muttered. "It's going to kill him. We should stop this." "The human volunteered," another replied. "Besides, Command wants to see if this can be replicated. If one human can bond with maybe others can too." 3 weeks had passed since that night in the stasis chamber. 3 weeks of interviews, tests, and debates. The coalition didn't know what to do with Min, and some wanted to separate them immediately, put back in stasis, send Min back to Earth. But others saw an opportunity. If hounds could be controlled, really controlled, they would be the perfect weapon. No need for drop pods and automated recovery. They could work alongside soldiers, take orders, be directed. So they decided to run an experiment. Let Min work with, see what happened. If it failed, they could always say it was a tragic accident. Lieutenant had argued against it. "You're using him as a test subject. If something goes wrong, then we'll know that the first contact was a fluke," Commander had said. She was the highest-ranking human in the coalition military, a serious woman with gray hair and sharp eyes. "But if it works, Min might change everything we know about hounds, about human capabilities. I have to let him try." Now Min stood in the middle of the training chamber, walked toward him, slow, careful. The creature remembered him, that was clear, but being in a strange place made uncertain. "Hey boy," Min said softly, "remember me?" His nose twitched, he sniffed the air, then he moved faster, his massive head pushed against Min's chest. The purring sound started, low and rumbling. Min scratched behind his ear. He had discovered that spot on the third day, right behind where the scales met the softer skin. Loved it. His back leg kicked slightly when Min hit the right spot. In the observation room, someone gasped. "Did you see that? The leg kick, like a domesticated canine." "Impossible. Hounds are apex predators. They don't have pleasure responses like pet animals." "Then explain what we're seeing." Min had brought a ball with him, a simple rubber ball from Earth. He held it up. "Want to play?" His eyes focused on the ball, his body tensed. Prey drive, Min thought. Every predator had it, the instinct to chase. "Ready?" Min threw the ball across the chamber. It bounced off the far wall, exploded into motion, 6 legs pumping, faster than seemed possible. He caught the ball in his mouth before it hit the ground. Then he stopped, confused. What now? "Bring it here," Min called. He slapped his leg. "Come on, bring it." The creature stared at him. The ball hung from his jaws. For a moment nothing happened, then walked back toward Min slowly at first, then faster. He dropped the ball at Min's feet. "Good boy," Min praised. He picked up the ball and threw it again. "Fetch." Again chased it. Again he brought it back. By the 5th throw the pattern was clear. The hound was playing fetch, just like any dog on Earth. The observation room had gone silent. Officer's voice finally broke the quiet. "I don't understand. This creature killed 3 handlers on Prime, tore apart a containment team on Station 6. How is a human recruit playing fetch with it?" One of the scientists, a floating jellyfish-like alien, spoke up. "Perhaps we've been approaching hounds incorrectly. We treat them as weapons, keep them isolated, wake them only for combat. Maybe they need social interaction. Pack structure." "Pack structure?" Officer sounded doubtful. "Many predator species form packs, work together. The human has made himself the pack leader, that has accepted this role." "Humans aren't pack leaders. They're barely strong enough to pass basic physical training." The scientist turned toward Officer. "Strength isn't leadership. Confidence is, trust is. The human shows no fear, the responds to that." Down in the training chamber, Min was teaching to sit. It took patience. The creature didn't understand at first, but Min kept his hand raised, kept saying sit in a firm voice. Finally, his haunches lowered, he sat. "Yes, good boy." Min pulled out a treat. He had learned that hounds loved dried meat. The stronger the flavor, the better. took the treat gently from his hand. His tail wagged. The door to the training chamber opened. A group of cadets entered. This was part of the test. See how reacted to strangers. The cadets were volunteers, all wearing protective armor just in case. His head turned, his body tensed. He moved closer to Min Protective. One of the cadets was a reptilian with green scales and yellow eyes. He had been in orientation with Min, had laughed when humans were mentioned. Now he approached cautiously. "So this is the famous tamed beast," said. His voice carried an edge of mockery. "Looks dangerous to me." "He's not dangerous if you're not a threat," Min said calmly. It corrected. "Not he, it's an animal, a weapon. You're fooling yourself if you think it cares about you." Growled low in warning. His eyes fixed on the took a step back. "See," said nervously, "it wants to kill me." "No," Min said. "He's protecting me. You're being aggressive. He can sense that." "I'm not being aggressive. I'm just stating facts." Min turned to fully face. "You've been stating facts about humans since orientation, about how weak we are, how we don't belong here. You think that makes you better than me?" Scales rippled, a sign of anger in his species. "I think humans got accepted because of politics, not merit. You prove that by working with animals instead of real military training." Took a step forward. His growl got louder. He positioned himself between Min and 6 legs planted, ready to spring. "Call it off," said. His voice had lost its mocking tone. Now he just sounded scared. "Call it off before it attacks." "He won't attack unless I'm in danger," Min said, but he placed a hand on shoulder. "Easy, boy, stand down." Stopped growling, but he didn't move. He kept watching, making sure the threat stayed away. Lieutenant's voice came through the speakers. "All cadets exit the chamber. Test is complete." The other cadets left quickly, backed away slowly, keeping his eyes on. Only when he was through the door did he turn and run. Alone again, Min knelt down next to. "You're a good boy, you know that, protecting me like that." His tail wagged. The tension left his body. He pushed his head against Min's chest again. Later that evening, Min sat in the academy cafeteria. Most cadets avoided him now. Word had spread about the human who worked with the unkillable beast. Some were curious. Most were nervous. A few were jealous. Lieutenant sat down across from him. She slid a data pad over. "Command's decision. They're allowing you to continue working with, but they want to expand the program. Other humans will be brought in. See if they can bond with different." "That's good, right?" Min asked. "Maybe, or maybe they're setting more humans up to fail." His expression was serious. "Min, you got lucky. You found a that responded to you, but not all of them will be like. Some are more aggressive, more damaged. If another human tries what you did and gets killed, then people will blame humans for being too weak," Min finished. "Not the program for being flawed." "Exactly," leaned back. "There's something else. Commander wants to deploy you in a real mission. Test if your bond holds in combat." Min's stomach tightened. "When?" 2 weeks, Station 7. Defense operation against Swarm. Low risk, they say, but it's combat, real combat." Nodded. "You can refuse. No one would blame you. You're still a recruit. This is above your training level." Min thought about the way the creature trusted him, protected him, about all the people who said humans didn't belong in the military, who said they were too weak, too soft. "I'll do it," he said. "I thought you might," stood up. "Then you better start training harder, both of you, because if you fail out there, it won't just be your life on the line. It'll be every human who comes after you." That night Min couldn't sleep again. He kept thinking about what it said, about the responsibility, about what would happen if he failed. But he also thought about how the galaxy saw hounds as mindless killing machines, how everyone had been wrong about them, just like they were wrong about humans. Maybe that's what humans were good at, seeing the truth that others missed, finding connections where others saw only danger. making friends with things that wanted to kill them, and somehow making it work. The transport ship shook as it entered Station 7's atmosphere. Min gripped his seat, sat next to him, strapped into a specially designed harness. The creature's eyes glowed in the dim light, calm, trusting. Across from them sat a squad of coalition soldiers, a mix of species. They all kept glancing at nervously. One of them, a soldier named, finally spoke up. "First deployment?" he asked Min. "Yes." With a hound, bold choice. His mandibles clicked, nervous laughter. "I've seen deployed before. Usually they're in drop pods, unconscious, aimed at the enemy and released. Never seen one sitting calmly like a trained animal." "He's more than an animal," Min said. He reached over and scratched his ear. The creature's tail thumped against the floor. "He's my partner." Another soldier, a four-armed named, shook his head. "Partner or not, the swarm won't care. They'll try to kill you both. Hope you're ready for that." The ship's pilot came over the speakers. 2 minutes to landing. Station 7 is under heavy assault. Numbers are higher than intel reported. Command says we hold the northern gate or the whole station falls. Good luck." Min felt his heartbeat speed up. 2 weeks of training, 2 weeks of preparing, but nothing could really prepare someone for their first battle. He looked at. The creature looked back at him, steady, ready. "We got this, boy," Min whispered. The ship landed hard. The doors opened. The smell hit them first. Sulfur, burning metal, something else, something organic and wrong. The sound came next. Weapons fire, explosions, and a horrible chittering noise. Thousands of voices all screaming at once. Swarm, they looked like a nightmare mix of insect and crustacean. 6 legs, armored shells, mandibles that could cut through steel. They moved in massive groups, overwhelming their enemies with sheer numbers. "Move, move," the squad leader shouted. "Northern gate double time." They ran through the station corridors. Emergency lights flashed red. Bodies lay in the hallways. Some coalition soldiers, some. The battle had been going badly. They reached the northern gate. It was a massive doorway leading to the mining tunnels. Coalition forces had set up a defensive position. Barricades, turrets, soldiers firing into the tunnels, but they kept coming, wave after wave. A officer saw them arrive. "Reinforcements, finally, take positions on the left flank, shore up that barricade before they break through." Men and moved to their assigned position. Around them, soldiers were firing constantly. Energy weapons, ballistic rounds, explosives. The noise was overwhelming. The smell of burned filled the air. Crouched low next to Min, every muscle tense. Ready, his eyes tracked the enemy, calculating, waiting for Min's command. A section of the barricade collapsed, poured through the gap. 20, 30, too many. Soldiers fell back, panic spread. Min shouted, "Go protect the flank." The hound exploded forward, 6 legs pumping, faster than the stronger. He hit the first wave like a missile, claws tearing, jaws crushing, fell, but more came, always more. "Cover the," someone shouted. Soldiers turned their fire toward the gap, supporting, keeping them from surrounding him. Min moved up with his rifle. He wasn't the best shot, but he could help. He fired at trying to flank, keeping his partner safe. For 20 minutes they held, became a blur of motion, never stopping, never hesitating, and the amazing thing was he listened. When Min shouted fall back, retreated. When he called left side, turned. They worked together, human tactics and power. Other soldiers noticed. They shouted to his squad, "Look at them, they're coordinating. I've never seen it take orders before." But they kept coming. The intel had been wrong. This wasn't a small raid. This was a full invasion, thousands of, maybe tens of thousands. "We can't hold," the officer shouted. "All units fall back to the secondary position." Soldiers retreated, running, carrying their wounded. Min called back. The creature was covered in blood, wounded in several places, but still fighting. They fell back through the corridors. Behind them the followed, chittering, hungry. Min helped carry a wounded soldier, stayed close, protecting them. They reached the secondary position. Another gate, another set of barricades, fewer soldiers now, maybe 30 against thousands of. "This is it," said grimly. "We hold here or die here, no more fallback positions." The officer was on his communicator. "Command, this is Gate 7. We need immediate reinforcements. We're about to be overrun. I repeat, we are about to be." An explosion cut off his words. The ceiling collapsed. Metal and stone fell. Min threw himself forward, felt the impact. Pain shot through his left leg. Something heavy pinned him down. He couldn't move. The debris had trapped his leg. He tried to push it off. Too heavy. His rifle had been knocked away. Around him, soldiers were scattered, some injured, some dead. They came through the breach in the ceiling. Dozens of them, pouring down like a waterfall of chittering death. Was on the other side of the room, separated by the collapsed ceiling. The creature saw Min trapped, saw the coming, and he went berserk. Min had never seen fight like that. The hound became a force of pure violence, smashing through debris, crushing. Nothing stopped him. He had only one goal: get to Min. A warrior jumped over the rubble, landed near Min, its mandibles opened, ready to strike. Min grabbed a piece of metal, not a weapon, not really, but he swung it anyway. The dodged, moved in. Min could smell its breath, see its eyes. This was it. This was how he died. Then was there. The hound hit like a meteor, drove it into the ground, killed it with one bite, then stood over Min, protecting him, his 6 legs planted wide, his body shielding Min from the swarm. "No," Min shouted. "Get out of here, save yourself." The creature didn't move, didn't leave, came at them, fought them all, claws slashing, teeth crushing, blood everywhere, his own blood, it didn't matter. He wouldn't abandon Min. Other soldiers saw what was happening, saw the hound refusing to retreat, protecting the human, and something changed, his squad. "If that beast won't give up, neither will we, for the human and his partner. Hold the line." They attacked, all of them, fighting not for orders, not for strategy, but because a creature that everyone said was untrainable had just proven what loyalty meant. And 2 other soldiers reached Min, started moving the debris. "We got you, human, just hold on." Above them kept fighting, his movement slower now, wounded badly but still fighting. His tail stayed curled around Min's trapped leg, protective, refusing to let go. "Almost there," grunted. The heavy piece of ceiling lifted. Min's leg came free, broken, bleeding, but free. "We need to move now," shouted. "More coming." Lifted Min, turned, followed, still protecting. They ran back toward the defensive line. Behind them the swarm filled the corridor. But then new sounds, different sounds, weapon fire from above, a voice over the speakers. "Reinforcements have arrived. All units hold your positions. The cavalry is here." Coalition crashed through the ceiling. Soldiers poured out, heavy weapons, mechs. The tide turned. The faced with overwhelming force began to retreat. Min watched from the medical station. His leg was in a cast. Painkillers made everything fuzzy. Lay next to the bed. The medics had treated his wounds, sealed the worst cuts. The creature refused to leave Min's side. Lieutenant entered. Her face was serious. "The station is secure. They are retreating. We held." "Barely," Min said. "Barely counts." She sat down. "Min, the commanding officer wants you to know something. You held that for 6 hours, 6 hours. If you hadn't, they would have flanked the main defensive line. The station would have fallen. 30,000 miners would be dead." Min looked at. The creature's eyes were closed, resting. His tail was wrapped around the leg of Min's bed, still protective even in sleep. "He saved me," Min said quietly. "I was trapped. He should have retreated, but he stayed, fought them all, almost died protecting me." "I know, everyone knows. The battle footage is everywhere. A human and a hound fighting side by side, refusing to abandon each other." His voice was soft. You've proven something today, not just about hounds, about humans, about what we bring to the coalition. What's that? The ability to make connections, to inspire loyalty, to turn weapons into partners. She stood up. There's something else. Your injuries are severe. You'll need months of recovery. Coalition medical policy says you'll be discharged, sent home to Earth. Min felt his chest tighten, and goes back into stasis, protocol. No, Min's voice was firm. No, you can't. He'll think I abandoned him. Min, he saved my life. He fought a swarm to protect me. You can't just put him back in a box like he's equipment. Held up her hand. I said that's what protocol requires. I didn't say that's what's going to happen. Min stopped. What do you mean? Commander has other plans, plans that involve you and the future of the coalition military, but that's a conversation for when you're healed. She smiled slightly. Rest now, both of you. You've earned it. After she left, Min reached down, scratched its ear. The creature's tail wagged slightly, even in sleep. We're going to be okay, boy, Min whispered. Whatever comes next, we'll face it together. 3 months passed. Min's leg healed slowly. Human bodies weren't designed to recover from battlefield injuries quickly. The coalition had advanced medical technology, but it could only do so much. He spent his days in physical therapy, rebuilding strength, learning to walk without pain. Stayed with him. The creature had his own room now, not a cell, not a stasis chamber, an actual room with soft bedding and space to move. Every morning, medics would bring to Min's recovery ward. Every evening they would return him, but always resisted leaving. His tail would drag. His eyes would watch Min until the door closed. He thinks you're going to disappear, the therapist said one day. Her name was, a human from Seoul. She had been recruited to help with human patients. Animals that bond deeply often develop separation anxiety. He's not just an animal, Min said. He was walking on the bars, 1 step, 2 steps. His legs shook but held. He's my partner. The whole galaxy knows that now, smiled. The battle footage went viral across 200 worlds. Everyone has seen the human and the standing together, fighting together. You're famous. Min didn't feel famous. He felt tired, worried. No one had told him what would happen next. Would he be sent home? Would be taken away? The uncertainty ate at him. Then one morning, Commander came to visit. She entered the recovery room with Lieutenant behind her. Both women looked serious. How's the leg? Commander asked. Better, I can walk now, almost normally. Good, because I have a proposal for you. Commander sat down. What happened at Station 7 changed everything. The Coalition's understanding of hounds, of human capabilities, of what's possible. She pulled out a data pad, showed Min images. Other humans working with some were successful, others less so, but the pattern was clear. Humans had something that other species lacked. We call it pack bonding, Commander explained. It's not in your biology exactly. It's in your culture, your history. Humans have been working with predator animals for thousands of years. Dogs, cats, horses, even wolves. You see partners where other species see threats. So you want more humans to work with? Min asked. More than that, we want to create a new division, dedicated to human teams. You would be the first instructor, teaching other humans how to bond with, teaching the coalition that emotional intelligence is a tactical advantage. Min looked at Lieutenant. She nodded. It's a good opportunity, a new program. You'd have authority, resources, and you'd stay with. What about my injuries? I was supposed to be discharged. You were, Commander said, as a combat recruit, but this position is different, less physical, more mental, teaching, training, building something new. She leaned forward. The coalition needs this, Min. After what you did, after what you proved, other species are willing to accept that humans have value. But we need to show them it wasn't just luck, that it can be repeated. Min thought about it. Going home meant safety, comfort, but it also meant leaving behind, abandoning everything he had worked for. And if he left, who would teach others? Who would make sure we're treated as partners instead of weapons? "I'll do it," he said. Commander smiled. "I thought you might. Welcome to the Human Integration Program, or as Lieutenant keeps calling it, the K-9 Division." "K-9?" Min asked. Laughed. "It's a human joke from Earth. Police dogs were called K-9 units. K-9, get it? The aliens don't understand it at all, which makes it even better." Over the following months, the program grew. More humans arrived, carefully selected, people who had worked with animals back on Earth, veterinarians, dog trainers, wildlife experts, people who understood that aggression often came from fear. That trust had to be earned. Min taught them everything he had learned: how to read body language, how to stay calm, how to establish boundaries without using force, how to see the individual personality in each, not just a dangerous beast. Not all attempts succeeded. Some were too damaged, too traumatized by years of isolation and combat deployment. Some humans couldn't overcome their fear, but enough succeeded. Enough teams formed. Enough bonds were created. The galaxy watched, skeptical at first, then amazed, then grudgingly impressed. Humans, the weakest species in the coalition, had done something no other species could. They had tamed the untamable. The who had mocked Min came to visit one day. He stood at the edge of the training field, watching as Min worked with a new recruit and a young. "I was wrong," said when Min approached. "About humans, about you. I thought strength was everything, muscle and armor and hard scales, but you showed us something different." "What's that?" Min asked. "That strength can be soft, can be patient, can be about understanding rather than dominating." Scales shifted colors, embarrassment in his species. "I came to apologize and to ask if you would help me." "Help you?" "I want to try to bond with a. I know I failed before, but I've been watching, learning, and I think maybe I can do better." Looked at who sat nearby. "If a human can do it, maybe other species can learn too." Min considered, then nodded. "Okay, but you have to promise to respect the not as a weapon, as a living being with feelings and needs." "I promise." It took weeks, struggled with his instincts. His culture taught dominance, hierarchy, but slowly he learned. And eventually he bonded with a old that everyone said was too aggressive to save. They named him Stone. Word spread. Other species requested to join the program. Not all were accepted, but some were. The K-9 division grew beyond humans, became something bigger, a new way of thinking about the creatures the Coalition had once only seen as weapons. Finally, graduation day arrived. 6 months after the battle at Station 7, Min stood backstage at the Academy's main auditorium. He wore a formal Coalition uniform now, instructor rank, sat beside him, groomed and calm. "Nervous?" Lieutenant asked. She would be presenting the commendation. "A little," Min admitted. "Big crowd out there. 2,000 beings, representatives from every coalition species, the council members, even some Earth diplomats came," adjusted his collar. "You've earned this, you and both." The ceremony began, speeches, awards, recognition for various achievements, then Commander took the stage. "Today we honor someone who changed the coalition forever," she said. Her voice carried through the auditorium. "A human recruit who saw potential where others saw only danger, who built trust where others built walls, who proved that the measure of a soldier isn't just strength or speed or durability. It's heart." Min walked onto the stage, walked beside him. No leash, no restraints, just trust. The audience gasped. Many had never seen a hound in person. Seeing one walk calmly beside a human was shocking. They crossed the stage together. Min stopped at the podium, sat on command, perfect discipline. His copper eyes scanned the crowd but showed no aggression, just curiosity. Commander presented Min with a medal, the Coalition Star, for exceptional service and innovation. As she placed it around his neck, the audience applauded. Even Officer, standing in the front row, was clapping. His crystalline hands made a sound like wind chimes. Min looked out at the crowd, saw faces of different species, different worlds, all united in the coalition. He thought about his first day, how small he had felt, how unwelcome. Now he stood on stage with a hound sitting calmly beside him, proof that humans belonged, that weakness could be strength, that empathy was power. He gave a short speech, thanked his instructors, thanked Lieutenant and Commander, thanked the humans and aliens who had joined the K-9 division, and he thanked for trusting him, for teaching him, for showing the galaxy that friendship could cross any boundary. As he finished speaking, something happened, stood up, looked at Min, and then, in front of 2,000 beings from across the galaxy, the hound's spiked tail began to wag. Back and forth, happy, proud. The movement was unmistakable. The most dangerous creature in known space was wagging its tail like a puppy who had just been praised by its owner. The audience went silent, shocked. Then someone started laughing, then someone else. Soon the entire auditorium was filled with the sound of 200 species laughing together, not mocking, just joy, pure joy at the absurdity and beauty of it. Officer turned to Lieutenant. She stood beside him in the front row. "I don't understand humans," he said quietly. Watched Min scratch's ear on stage. Watched the creature lean into the touch. Content, happy. That's what makes them dangerous, sir. They make friends with things that want to kill them, and somehow it works. But how? Because they don't see enemies first. They see potential friends, potential partners. Humans spent 40,000 years turning wolves into dogs, turning wildcats into pets, turning wild horses into companions. It's what they do. It's what they've always done. Officer watched the stage. The human and the bond between them was obvious, real, unbreakable. "Perhaps we have been measuring strength incorrectly," he said slowly. "Perhaps we have," agreed. After the ceremony, Min walked through the academy grounds. Students stopped to stare, to take pictures. Some asked to pet. Min always asked first. If the creature was comfortable, he allowed it. If not, they politely declined. They reached their favorite spot, a garden area with earth plants, grass, trees, flowers, loved lying in the grass. It reminded Min of home, of his childhood dog, of simpler times. Settled down in the shade, Min sat beside him. The creature's head rested on his lap, just like that first night in the stasis chamber, full circle. "We did it, boy," Min said quietly. "We changed things, made things better." His tail thumped against the grass. Once, twice, a response, understanding. Min looked up at the sky. Somewhere up there was Earth, home, his family, his past. But here on this alien world surrounded by beings from across the galaxy, he had found something else. Purpose, partnership, belonging. He thought about all the other humans coming to the academy now, about the waiting to be awakened, about the bonds that would form, about the future they were building together. Humans weren't the strongest species. They weren't the fastest or the most advanced, but they had something special. The ability to look at a monster and see a friend. The courage to extend a hand to something dangerous and trust it wouldn't be bitten off. That was humanity's gift to the galaxy. Not weapons, not technology, but the simple, radical act of making friends. And somehow, impossibly, it was working. Yawned, showing all his teeth, teeth that could crush steel, teeth that had killed by the dozens. Then he settled deeper into Min's lap and started that purring sound. Content. Safe. Home. Min smiled, scratched behind's ear, and together the human recruit and the killing beast that wagged its tail watched the sun set over the academy. Partners. Friends. Proof that the impossible was just another word for not tried yet.